My children soon will be gods. この狩りの始まりだ。
Does anyone here remember the Richie Rich like cartoons from back in the day? They were on like Cartoon Network. It was like classic cartoons, stuff like that.
Nope.
I remember them. And here's what I'll say: they were something. Little dry, but it is what it is. And then of course there was the Robot Chicken skit where literally Richie bragged. He was just like, "Yeah, I got this ballin' ass monster truck here. It gets like 1 foot per 10 gallons." And then he gets in it and he starts it up and it goes like 3 feet and he's like, "Yeah, all right, yeah." It's like now I got to have him fill it up again. So Macaulay Culkin had a weird time in the 90s after Home Alone, because there were several things to do with Macaulay Culkin in the 90s that I remember. There was one called Getting Even with Dad that he was in.
I don't remember that.
And then there was a version of the Nutcracker that he was the lead in.
Don't remember that either.
And here's the thing. He basically was just like used as a bargaining chip by Kit Culkin, his dad, to make as much money as possible and to basically like bully producers into making his son the star of everything. And yeah, it was, oh boy. Basically, Macaulay never had a childhood. And because of that, he had issues growing up. Specifically the, drug issues and, the depression and everything. But there were other movies that he was in that I watched. I don't know what else to say right now. I mean, we're not here to talk about a bad movie or a horrible movie. We're here to talk about a mid movie that was serviceable and could have been better, but still pretty cool in its own right. Richie Rich. Specifically, we're here to watch Doug talk about it. So
I have some guesses as to what he might say about it.
He'll probably say it's mid.
I'm wondering if he's going to say that, it's essentially Macaulay Culkin playing the same character he's played in Home Alone. It's just
he's
more of a rich kid,
Well, he's a rich kid, but also not only that, but he's confident. But he's confident at certain things, but he's also like not. He never has friends. He's never made friends before.
I'm just thinking like acting wise, like I feel like he's gonna have a very similar vibe to what he probably did in Home Alone 2.
Probably. We'll see.
But that's just as far as I can remember, and I might remember completely wrong. My memory's terrible, so we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, here we go.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Oh, Macaulay, why do you keep hopping up here? I'm sure you're a nice guy. Hell, you were probably a nice kid. But man, did you pick some dumb movie.
Oh, dude, I love the Page Master.
I liked it too. As a kid, I liked it too. As an adult, going back and watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is not that good.
The Super Nintendo game was a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, the games were great.
Yeah.
Both versions. I played the NES version, and then I played the Sega Genesis version like years later, and they both control really well.
And we're here to
The Good Son's disturbing.
look at another stinker with Richie Rich. Culkin seemed like the perfect kid at the time to show us a subject matter I'm sure would have gone over really well today: how the 1% live. Brought to you by the ingenious visionary director of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Richie Rich brings to the big screen a story nobody demanded to see from an actor clearly going through puberty based on a comic strip that younger kids have never heard of. With those credentials, how could you not greenlight this? Well, time is money, so let's start spending.
It didn't matter. I hadn't heard of the comic strip. Like, the previews got me interested.
It's similar to like how like the Archie's comics, in terms of like its built or how it's like how it was done and everything. But I remember the cartoon back in the day. I saw reruns of it, and it was all right.
Richie Rich. So back in the 90s, when we still had an economy, a young boy is born to a millionaire named Richard Rich. The boy's name? Richie Rich. You know, you ever wonder if either the father or son would have a different life if their parents named them Poor E Broke? Hey, that's my legally born name! We see them go through the typical rich kid jokes, like playing catch while doing business meetings, genetically altering a dog's body to have money signs on it, creepy, even building a giant mounted portrait to themselves. Oh, people of today's current financial status would just love this film.
Honestly, it's just one of those things. It's just when you're a kid, you don't really think about this stuff because when you're a kid, you imagine like all the awesome stuff you could do if you were rich. And all that.
Like when I was a kid, I was like, "This is all so cool." I was like, "It would be awesome to have stuff like this."
Yeah. Whereas an adult, you see this and you're just like, "Yeah, this is a bit extravagant," but in all honesty, it's fun. Plus, these are fictional characters. You can't read too much into it. Also, the mother has one of my favorite lines. I still remember it to this day. They had the laser thing to like etch out the Mount Richmore, the Mount Rushmore thing, and they put it on maximum, and the laser blasted her nose to where it basically just got destroyed. She was standing there, and Richie was hanging, and he was trying to get her to help him, and she looked over, she's like, "Oh my God, my nose. I look like Michael Jackson."
But his life isn't all just fun and games. There's also the importance of keeping up the illusion that his life is not all fun and games. Like having him do a ribbon cutting at a tool factory. Fitting, as many would consider this character to be a united tool.
On behalf of my dad, thanks for the wrenches. I know my dad loves socket wrenches. I know I love socket wrenches. And if my mom knew what a socket wrench was, I'm sure she'd love it too.
So as you may have noticed by this point in his life, Culkin is sounding less like the kid from Home Alone and more like the sped up audio of Sylvester Stallone.
I'd like to stay, but I gotta go do my homework. It's been real.
Yo, Adrian, come on, let's go ice skate.
Kind of. That's the thing about 90s writing, is just when they were writing kids, they tried to make them hip and cool. It's the Jonathan Taylor Thomas effect. I hate to say it, but the Jonathan Taylor Thomas effect affected all kid actors in the 90s. Even Macaulay Culkin.
He also has a loyal butler named Cadbury. And no, he doesn't talk like this.
But Cadbury's awesome. I think Cadbury's like one of my favorite comedic foils of the film.
But he does manage to keep a close eye on little Richie.
This area is not secure, sir.
Don't touch him.
It's my job to protect him.
Very well, Mr. Ferguson. But grab him like that again, and you will need protection.
We British are known for our strength and athletic abilities.
Poor kid.
Poor kid? What are you talking about? He's the richest kid in the world.
You don't have children, do you, Dave?
My wife can't conceive. Thanks for that salt in the wound.
God dang, Doug. Ouch. Christ almighty.
It was then that Richie realized there was something missing in his life. Something simple. Something money could not buy.
Fucking hell, Doug. Come on, really? A Citizen Kane callback?
Oh, we should move the
Movie will
over
get to
there,
that.
bro.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
That stuff later, but for now, his dad is back from a business trip, only to find that he has to leave again.
Excuse me, sir. It's a telephone call. The president.
What country?
This one, sir.
Probably needs another loan.
Wait. His dad's the freaking guy from Lost Boys, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait, I recognize him from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, Max from Lost Boys. He's actually a really talented actor. He's really fun. Also, there was another one. He was in Intolerable Cruelty with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Never saw that.
It was hilarious, and he plays such a boob in that.
joke doesn't date this movie at all. Actually, it kind of makes it timeless.
Yeah, it does.
Don't worry, we have that guy who was supposed to be huge from Whose Line Is It Anyway, but then messed up by choosing movies like, well, Richie Rich.
No, come on, dude. He's hilarious.
10 times stickier than the strongest adhesive known to man. I call it cementia.
His job is to
That's funny slapstick right
It
there.
is.
I'm sorry.
It is. And now it's like the guy's just like,
the Q of the movie,
Help!
making all
Help!
sorts of gadgets. And
Yeah, I was
weapons
gonna
that
say, I
aren't
was like,
sure-
he's like Q, like from James Bond.
yeah, that's the joke that they're going for here. He's Q for a kid.
will
And it shows as well later on. Well, they'll probably talk about it here in a
not
second.
make an appearance in the film's climax.
100 bees working overtime couldn't pollinate like this baby. Behold, Robo-Bee.
Yes, you never know when the world might need a robo-bee in their lives.
I mean,
Given
to be
the-
honest, we kind of do now.
Yeah, exactly. This movie was ahead of its time because
Yeah.
we have issues with bees, with bees not pollinating flowers enough.
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, if they had fields where these could be active and didn't get aggressive against humans, I mean, who knows?
I mean, if bees actually die out, like they're worried about, like we might have to have like robo bees or something to keep their plants alive.
Oh man, that's terrifying.
Possibilities are just so limiting. Actually, doesn't it sort of look like the bee from Simon Says? In fact, don't the inventors of those things look suspicious?
No. John Panetti, they are not the same.
Similar to? My God.
First off, John Panetti's Italian, and the actor, what's his name?
Doug just be like, all fat people look the same, apparently.
Do I look the same? Hey, Doug. Do I look like John Panetti? Actually, don't answer that. Fuck, I kind of do.
Could it be there's some sort of conspiring connection between Simon Says and Richie Rich?
No.
Who gives a shit?
I mean, they both have alliteration in their names.
Yeah, except one stars Macaulay Culkin, and the other stars Dennis Rodman. So, yeah.
The villain.
Oh, and also, Simon Says also co-stars Dane Cook. I would much rather have Cadbury as my supporting cast than fucking Dane Cook.
Villain of our movie. How do we know he's the
Oh,
villain?
hey, Jean Larroquette. I look forward to Bender mentioning you in Futurama.
Because he's played by John Larroquette. And let's face it, if John Larroquette ever played the good guy in something, your movie would just die faster.
Your donations are costing the corporation over $1 billion a year, and I think it's just time we asked ourselves, what are we getting for it?
He's their advisor and doesn't like how charitable their donations are and how wasteful their inventions may seem.
We have glasses to help us see better and hearing aids to help us hear better. Why shouldn't we have something to help us smell better?
This thing's way out of whack. Can I be excused? Thank you.
Hey, yo, I'm like a mini Tony Danza here.
Kind of, yeah. I will say this, though. There was actually a funny part where Richie fed his dog a pork chop, or his dog, like his food, because he didn't want to eat it. And then he takes the smelling device over to the dog, and the thing detects the food on the dog's breath. And the mom was like, Richie, you didn't. Anyway, gotta go. Yeah.
If I may, might I suggest that you consider beefing up the security system?
Oh, I don't think that'll be necessary, Lawrence. I mean, after all of our real valuables are locked in the Rich family vault.
Vault.
So he makes the incredible discovery that the Rich family is rich, and that taking control of their vault might make him even richer. Though to be fair, it looks like he's pretty rich already. He just fired a limo driver for parking too close to a puddle of water. How much?
Well, I hate to tell you, but there are advantageous asshats who, while rich, desire to be richer.
Mm-hmm. More rich, actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
More money do you need? No,
Yeah.
I just want enough to buy a spaceship, go to the edge of the universe.
Actually, I think a funny
Fired
thing
a
that
limo
could have been done
driver for
here is
parking-
just like, as soon as he fired the driver's just like, oh, so I don't work for you anymore? Okay. Sorry, your suit needed a spit shine. And then I'd fuck off.
Too close to a puddle of water. How much more money do you need? No, I just want enough to buy a spaceship, go to the edge of the universe, travel through the outer rim, have an existential journey of self, and become the next evolution of mankind, therefore being in control of all the universe. But I bet you call me selfish for wanting that.
Dead link on. Locate dead.
Hiya, slugger.
Yeah. As a kid, you didn't notice it. As an adult, it is haunting.
Locating Dad now.
Don't you just love early CG technology that's trying to look hip but instead just gives you diarrhea of fear?
Locate dead.
Hiya, slugger.
And why do its
The
pupils
eyes.
get bigger?
Yeah,
It's like
the
he's
pupil
looking to suck
dilation
out
is
my
really creepy.
soul.
Hiya, slugger.
Stop playing it over and over again.
So Richie
Please
does
stop.
what most kids would do around that age. Gives his dad a call when he has a zit. Did you do that growing up?
I'm getting a zit. What do you think?
Could we talk about this later?
Oh, sure, Dad. I'm sorry. I'll see you tonight.
Bye.
See ya.
See, this is one of the problems with the movie. The Richie character is so bland that we don't really know what to make of a scene like this. Is it funny because he's talking to him at such a delicate time, or because he's bringing it up to him at all? Most kids don't act this way, but we have no idea if that's the way the character is, or if the writer just doesn't know much about kids.
I would say it's the disconnect the writer has to, like, being a kid. Because here's the thing, certain people are good at writing kids. I'd say one of the best writers at writing kids, Brad Bird. Because when Brad Bird wrote The Incredibles 1 and 2, the kids were easily some of the most entertaining parts of the film, and they were written very well. Their dialogue was good, they actually talked like kids, they actually think about stuff how kids would think about stuff, they are in situations that kids are in. I mean, dude, it's great. And Brad Bird's one of the best at that.
I think the funniest scene of the entire thing is when Violet's embarrassed at the table.
Oh yeah, and her
blows
nose.
the milk out her nose.
Yeah. The freeze frame of like what she looked like when, oh my gosh, it is hilarious.
Nothing else about Richie himself is noticeably that strange, so we don't know who's the one who's supposed to be acting out of line here, the father or the son. It's like the Animaniacs joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Max.
Max who?
Max wants to come in and go crazy.
Okay, now that's not really a joke, is it? You see, because it makes no sense.
It does if you know Max.
But I don't know Max!
If you did, you'd be laughing.
That's the point.
Same thing here. We see how Richie lives, but really we know nothing about him. Just that he has a lot of stuff. So a lot of these jokes fall flat. Some of the Rich jokes are funny, but if you can't gauge the reaction of the character this stuff is being bounced off of, you yourself don't know how you're supposed to react. All we ever get is that he wants to get out more. So he manages to bring in, well, let's call them what they really are. A bunch of tokens. The token black kid, the token fat kid, the token cool kid, and the token girl. Kid.
We know who you are. What, no chopper?
And God said unto Noah, bring me one of every stereotype.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, if these kids were more fleshed out and weren't caricatures of what they were supposed to represent, I think they could actually be good characters. But anyway.
And you will have your crappy 90s movie. And Noah said,
No!
Oh.
And God struck him down
Hey,
with lightning.
hey, Aw. So that's what happened with Spoonie.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
So Richie tries to befriend them, but in a very strange strategy, they decide it's best not to befriend the incredibly rich child. Yeah, I mean, what could they possibly gain hanging out with the richest kid in the world? It's so stupid.
What are you doing here?
Well, I was wondering if maybe I can play with you guys.
Play? No, I don't think this is such a good idea. Okay. All right. Okay.
Not.
No, they got me with the not card! Even though technically they never said anything positive to have the not card follow it. Oh, it still hurts! I
Yeah.
wish there was something I could do to combat
I was gonna say that seemed to be used incorrectly there.
Yeah. Once again, the thing is,
If it was more obvious that one of them was like, "Yeah, I think we should let him play with us," and then they all turn around and go, "Not," then that would actually make sense.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear that, so
No, there
I
was.
just heard
It
a bunch
wasn't
of
there.
not.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So the whole deal is with this is this had to have been rushed out just to take advantage of Macaulay Culkin's popularity at the time. Because if they actually put more effort into this, I mean, they got a great cast. They have a great cast of characters. They have like people who actually are like who can act and all that. It's just damn. Such a missed opportunity.
My God, it's just too cool. It's the perfect defense. It will never not be popular as long as I live.
Until after the 90s.
Yeah.
But the Walking Sunny D commercial finally agrees to meet up with him, and needless to say, they're impressed.
It ain't no house, it's a whole hood.
I'm the black one.
God damn.
All right, food.
I am the fat one.
I like this place.
I'm the fat one. Food is my only identity.
Master Richie was of the opinion that his young guests deserve a break today.
You have your own McDonald's.
I believe that's bad screenwriting for insert your plug here.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I was like...
Having your own McDonald's?
I was like, that would be dope.
Yeah.
Without thinking about the fact that I would be so fat. Like
I would be too.
The fattest kid if I had my own fucking McDonald's. No fucking way I'd look like Richie Rich does.
Well, I was going to say, considering that this is 90s McDonald's and not modern McDonald's, because...
It still wasn't very good for you back then either, though.
It was way better than what it is now. Ugh.
I believe that's bad screenwriting for insert your plug here. No, goddammit!
That's where his commercial would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Jello pudding pop is the best kind of pudding pop. Oh my goodness, a grenade.
Now those.
Thank God.
So they ride ATVs, speedboats, the Iron Wolf from Six Flags Great America that they're now claiming is in their backyard. It's a whole lot of fun. But he then comes across some bad news. Apparently Larroquette put a bomb on his parents' plane and they crashed into the ocean. They managed to stay afloat, but sadly nobody can find them. With them out of the way, Larroquette thinks he can run the businesses and shut down the factories that he finds pointless. But what's this? A child taking over the industry? Well, not since Hero Pig have I seen business ethics so inspired.
Please, have a seat.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have a seat. The seat in the room.
How much stock do I own?
51% of the voting stock.
Yes, but you are not of legal age to exercise your voting right.
I stand in loco parentis and guardian ad litem to Master Richie.
Power of attorney.
And accordingly, I give him full proxy power and authority.
Like a motherfucking boss, sir.
So Richie is now running things, and like always, he does a good job of it. You know, wouldn't it be more awesome in one of these movies if the hero just crashes and burns the company?
Billy Bean has tried to reinvent a system that's been working for years.
Hey, Daddy, do you think you'll lose your job?
You're discounting what scouts have done for 150 years?
What the hell am I doing?
Just not working out.
What is happening?
This is the movie Moneyball. Basically, Billy Bean, he wasn't the first to do it, but Billy Bean basically made a baseball team on the cheap, and it basically like won more games than anyone else in a season with that team, and basically changed how baseball was played from then on out. And what Doug's showing here is basically the reverse of that. Billy Bean got this team together, but they didn't win. They had the worst record in the league, and he got shit canned. That's the joke. Yeah.
Some employee downsizing.
Downsizing? You mean fire people?
It is our job to cut the fat.
My father never fired anybody. He always said that when people are secure in their jobs, they work harder, they work happier, they work better.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard! Nobody has a perfect hiring record. You're going to make mistakes and hire the wrong people.
This is true. This is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Although Richie's dad is worth $70 billion.
Yeah, like...
So he'd be a little disconnected from that idea.
I feel like whenever the paycheck is above a certain level, like, even someone who is currently, like, probably, like, the laziest person in the world is going to try a little bit to actually keep that money coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's motivation. Like, $700,000 a year, you say?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be on time every day, even if I have to shit in a bucket in my car on the way in because my stomach gives me problems in the morning.
There you are. I was going to say, dude, if you gave me a job where I was getting paid $700,000 a year, it's just like, where do I sign and what do I have to do?
Yeah.
And it honestly, I think anyone would take that job. But what they're talking about here with the, bad hiring practices and all that, you're going to hire people who are shit at their job. And if they're shit at their job, then they need to be let go. Because if one person fucks up the work of 10 people, then those 10 people are going to be discouraged. Hate to say it, but that's just how it is.
Like people who are underqualified or overqualified. Or put a fucking bomb on a plane and blow your parents up. Don't you think that's a firing offense, you mental laxative of a movie?
All those in favor of my motion.
All opposed?
I drink your milkshake.
No.
Yeah, maybe for Nambla Weekly.
God damn. Also,
I hate that
cleavage.
So he thinks of another way to take him down. He has the butler Cadbury arrested for, I don't know, making his eggs smaller or something.
We received an anonymous tip and searched the Rich mansion. Bomb parts, detonation devices found in Herbert Cadbury's room. You're under arrest for the murder of Richard and Regina Rich.
So he's framed for blowing up the folks, but Richie tries to break him out with one of the scientist's inventions.
I want you to give this to my uncle.
You see this? What's this?
Very special toothpaste. He has really sensitive teeth.
Well, this is Chicago, and it is Crook County, so I'll allow it.
All right, you got 10 minutes to do whatever.
So he gets him the stuff just in time to have a thrilling off-screen battle.
Guess they couldn't put violence in a kids' movie back then.
Huh, that saved us a lot of money. So he breaks out and they...
Never mess with a man who has sensitive teeth.
They put together that BlackCatEd is behind everything. But BlackCatEd also finds out that the vault he wants to get into is voice-activated by the parents. And guess who they just found?
Oh my God, they're alive.
It's a me, Mario Batali.
So he calls in the Burger King Kids Club and...
I was kind of thinking earlier, it kind of reminds me of the floating Mario face from Mario 64, but creepier.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Twist. Culkin is actually
It's like
trying
the
to
cursed floating Mario face that is really creepy.
Oh, yeah.
into the house this time. Oh, I do hope his head gets burned by a flamethrower.
Richie, you wouldn't believe what they did to me. It was inhuman.
They see that the scientist has been kidnapped. Wait, nobody was guarding him? And he sees if he can whip up a diversion to distract the guards. What does he use?
Bubbles.
Fucking bubbles!
The heck? And by the way, what the hell is up with the adult mother staying behind while the young little kids go in to save the day? Maybe she sees them like the canary you send in before entering a coal mine. This calls for a fat guy moment.
You guys go on ahead. I'll be just a second.
Okay.
Yeah. Typical fat guy thing. Get the food. Salami. My inventions.
What?
My inventions.
Yeah. My inventions? Mighty pensions? Ma's infections? Marty's steakhouse? Shoo! But it turns out BlackCatEd found the parents and forces them to open the vault with their voice-activated combination.
Singing our song, side by side.
Code accepted.
Thank you, Beavis and Butthead.
That makes no sense.
Hmm.
As a kid, I didn't get it. As an adult, I'm just like, they obviously had to dub over it because they said something else. It's like, if he would have said, "Thank you, Rodgers and Hammerstein," they probably said that, and then they were just like, no kid's gonna know what Rodgers and Hammerstein is. Put in Beavis and Butthead. Makes no sense.
Hey, I don't get that.
It's a shitty overdub, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the rest of the kids fight off the bad guys with those wacky inventions. Or, how do you say it again? My inventions! Yeah.
My inventions.
As we discover that the vault is not filled with riches, but more precious memories. And to the film's credit, they do turn out 2 funny lines in a row here.
What are the gold bars? The diamonds, the negotiable bearer bonds, the money. Where is the money?
In banks. Where else? And the stock market.
Shoot them. Shoot them now, please.
What's the matter, Mr. Van Doe? Can't do it yourself?
On this occasion, I think I'll make an exception.
Cool.
Aim for the head! Nobody kids films ever aim for the head! So they escape out of the vault and have a thrilling climax on
Also, that's one hell of a bulletproof vest if he's just like, cool.
Well, actually, that was the thing. That was the thing, because earlier in the film, it was a spray thing. It basically was like spray on Kevlar. And that was the guy shooting the machine gun at the mannequin. That's what they were testing.
All right,
Come on, Richie!
come on.
Oh, God.
Now off you go.
Oh, cut the crap and stop pushing!
Hello.
Well, there's your PG rating, folks. Aren't you glad all you parents in the audience had to be dragged to this flick just for that?
Oh!
Oh my God, my nose! I look like Michael Jackson!
Hey, Culkin
Mom!
for Jackson. I'm sure he takes great offense at that. Hence why he's still in this movie. Oh, who cares? They knock out the bad guy, he serves his community service, and Blandy Bland finds out that his friends are the real riches.
Now our son really is the richest boy in the world.
He has friends.
So I guess that means he doesn't need the money and he'll be handing it over to some sort of charity, or we'll just roll the credits. Hey, if it ends the movie faster. I guess this isn't like the worst Culkin film or anything.
No.
It's got a few memorable moments and 1 or 2 funny lines. But the main character is so bland and the story itself is so phoned in that it's pretty hard to get invested. I will admit I did sort of like the Butler character, as he seemed much more protective and caring than Richie's parents. But yeah, how about Richie's
Also, the butler is the dad from Jumanji.
parents? Did they ever learn anything? Did they ever discover how to raise a kid better? Was there ever a story arc? Did they find out anything about their money or their son? I don't think this movie cared enough to answer that question. Hell, I don't even think it cared enough to ask it. It's just a last-ditch effort to cash in on a kid celebrity status before his testicles drop. If you want to get rich in life, start saving your money by not buying this piece of crap. I'm the nostalgia critic guy, remember it, so you don't have to. Or play the stock market, that usually helps too.
Okay. Well, there we go.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a movie that actually worked better than Doug probably would have expected for kids that saw it when it came out.
Yeah.
Like, seeing all the stuff again, I remember thinking how cool a lot of that was. Like, especially like the last scene where they're up on the, like the Mount Rushmore type thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember being like, whoa, this is so cool, you know? So it was essentially kind of like a James Bond film for a kid, like, in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if I had have actually seen James Bond films, then I might have been like, yeah, this is like a crappy James Bond film. Like, but I hadn't seen any at that point, so it was kind of neat. It's like baby's first James Bond film, kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Mixed with just like the fantasy of like, oh man, if only I was a rich kid and had all this stuff, that'd be so cool.
If I was a rich man.
Yeah.
Biddy, biddy,
If I was a rich boy.
Biddy, 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 biddy. Sorry. Anyway, so
If I was a rich boy, I would call my dad about my acne and something. I don't know.
and try to make some friends. But the whole deal with Richie Rich is you can tell this was a quick cash in. As an adult, I can tell quick cash in just to make money off of Macaulay Culkin before the gravy train was up.
But they didn't do the worst job of making a movie for kids ever.
No, they actually. I would say for me, the biggest thing is the supporting characters, specifically Cadbury. The parents can be funny on occasion. The other kids, though caricatures, do bring good energy to it, and you can tell they're actually giving a shit when it comes to performing.
Fat Q.
Yeah, and then of course Keen Bean. He was also very funny. Mayan vengeance. So anyway, that's gonna do it. So guess until next time, everybody. Signing off. I am Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.